Hello and welcome. My name is Moritz Eckert, and in this video we're gonna walk through the steps of recovering a Constellation cluster. So I've prepared here a cluster that was already being created. We can see that this is Constellation version 2.91. Let's see what the cluster looks like. So we have 3 nodes, 1 control plane, 2 worker nodes. Having 1 control plane node, of course, is not advised for production grade cluster, since there is no replication, no redundancy here. But it makes this demo very easy. So once this 1 control plane node goes down, essentially your cluster is non-operational anymore. It's down in that sense. And once we restart it, since the state and everything is encrypted, we need to do a recovery procedure. If we go into our documentation, there's a section under workflows called recover your cluster, and we're going to walk through that for restoring that state. But now let's first basically get that cluster into a recovering mode. This is the resource group attached to that cluster. If we go into the virtual machine scale set for the control plane and go to instances, here's our 1 control plane. Let's just simulate a restart. Let's restart that instance. So now the restart has completed. Let's go into our terminal environment here and see if the Kube API server is still responsive. And we can see it times out. The API server is not online. So let's see what Constellation status tells us. So yeah, the whole cluster seems to be offline. So let's go here into our recoveries page. So down here, we can see how we identify an unhealthy cluster, which is what we just did. We could also now go into that instance, see the serial console output, wait a bit for this to connect. And we can see here that this fails to rejoin any existing cluster because there are no endpoints available. This is due to being the only control plane node in that scenario. So now let's go ahead and do the actual recovery step. And what we need to do for that is the ID file and the master secret. If I go into my terminal, I can see here is the Constellation ID file and here's my master secret. So let's go ahead and do this step here. So we say Constellation recover, and then we tell it the master secret, and this is just the file here. Now let's wait for this operation to complete. Okay, this was done. So what happened is the Constellation CLI attested this new node, or this restarted node in that case. It pushed the recovery key through that attested secured connection, and then the control plane was basically able to decrypt its state and get back into a running mode. So let's see if Constellation is already online again. And yeah, we can see it seems to be operational again. Let's see what kubectl tells us. And we can see we have our 3 nodes back. And we can now go ahead and use that cluster. So we've seen how when a recovery event occurs, when all our control planes are down, how we are able to recover that cluster using the recovery procedure of Constellation using our master secret. Thank you very much for watching. See you in the next video.